Do you ever feel stuck? I mean, really stuck. Like you're wading through cement and every single step is a monumental effort. The to-do list is a mile long, your dreams feel a million miles away, and the weight of it all is just crushing you. You wake up already tired, already defeated. You look at your life and think, how did I get here? And how in the world do I get out? This feeling, this heavy, suffocating sense of being overwhelmed is something we all face. It's a universal human experience. It whispers lies in your ear, telling you that you're not good enough, that it's too late, that change is impossible for someone like you. It's a powerful force, that feeling of being stuck. It can paralyze you, but I'm here to tell you something you need to hear right now. That feeling is not the truth. It's just a feeling, and feelings can change. The truth is, you have more power than you realize. You have the power to change your entire life right now, in this very moment. It doesn't require a lottery win or some grand dramatic gesture. It doesn't require you to suddenly become a different person overnight. The secret to getting unstuck, to taking back control and to building a life you are genuinely excited about is so much simpler than you think. It's about recognizing the power that has been inside you all along. The problem is that we often think change has to be massive. We look at the huge gap between where we are and where we want to be, and we get intimidated. We think we need to overhaul everything all at once. Quit the job, move across the country, lose 50 pounds, write a novel. The sheer size of these goals is what keeps us frozen. We psych ourselves out before we even begin. We tell ourselves we don't have the time, the energy, or the willpower to make it happen. So we do nothing. We stay in that familiar, comfortable misery because the alternative seems too daunting, too impossible. This is the trap of all or nothing thinking, and it is the biggest dream killer there is. But what if I told you that the biggest changes in your life will not come from one giant leap? What if they come from a series of tiny, almost unnoticeable steps? What if the secret to transforming your reality is hidden in the smallest actions you can take today? This isn't just wishful thinking, it's a fundamental principle of how change actually works. It's about shifting your focus from the overwhelming mountain to the very first stone at your feet. It's about understanding that you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. You just need to take one small, simple, 5-second action. And that's a promise you can make to yourself, and it's a promise you can keep. Let's talk about something I call the ripple reaction. Picture this. You're standing at the edge of a perfectly still lake. The water is like glass. Now imagine you toss in a single tiny pebble. What happens? That small pebble creates a tiny splash, and from that splash, ripples begin to spread outwards. They start small, but they grow, expanding across the entire surface of the water, reaching every shore. That one tiny action, that single pebble, changed the entire state of the lake. This is exactly how positive change works in your life. One small intentional action is your pebble, and the change it creates is the ripple. The ripple reaction is your secret weapon against feeling overwhelmed. It's a mindset shift. Instead of looking at the giant, impossible goal of getting healthy, you focus on the pebble putting on your running shoes. Instead of staring at the terrifying goal of finding a new job, you focus on the pebble, spending 5 minutes updating one line on your resume. These actions are so small, so non-threatening, that your brain can't argue with them. There's no room for excuses. You can't say you don't have time to put on your shoes. You can't say you're too tired to type one sentence. It's that simple. And that is where the magic begins. This concept works because it bypasses the part of your brain that resists change. Your brain is wired for safety and efficiency, which means it loves familiar patterns and routines, even if they make you miserable. When you try to make a huge change, your brain's alarm system, the amygdala, goes off. It screams, "Danger, this is new, this is hard, let's go back to what we know." But when you take a tiny action, it flies right under the radar. It's too small to trigger the alarm. It's a stealth move. You are tricking your own brain into helping you. You're starting a chain reaction of positive behavior without initiating that internal fight or flight response. So the next time you feel that wave of overwhelm washing over you, I want you to stop. Don't think about the entire lake. Don't think about changing everything. Just think about the pebble. What is the one tiny, simple, almost laughably easy thing you can do right now? that will move you even an inch in the right direction, that's your starting point. That is the beginning of your ripple reaction. You're not just tossing a pebble into the water, you are sending a signal to yourself. A signal that says, I am in control, I am taking action, I am starting now. And that signal is the most powerful ripple of all. This isn't just motivational fluff. There's real science behind why these small actions are so incredibly powerful. Neuroscientists and psychologists have studied this phenomenon extensively. It all comes down to a concept known as small wins. A small win is a concrete, complete, implemented outcome of moderate importance. When you achieve a small win, your brain releases a neurotransmitter called dopamine. Dopamine is often called the feel-good chemical, but it's more accurate to call it the motivation molecule. It's the chemical that makes you want to do things again. It creates a feeling of accomplishment and reward. When you set a massive goal and fail to make immediate progress, you get discouraged. Your brain doesn't get that rewarding hit of dopamine. In fact, it might get a stress response instead, releasing cortisol, which makes you want to retreat and avoid the task. But when you set a tiny goal, like cleaning off your desk for 5 minutes, and you accomplish it, your brain gives you a little shot of dopamine. It feels good. Your brain says, hey, that was nice, I like that. Let's do that again. This creates a positive feedback loop. The small win makes you feel good, which motivates you to take another small action, which leads to another small win, and so on. This process literally changes your brain. Every time you complete a small task, you are strengthening the neural pathways associated with action and accomplishment. You are, in a very real sense, building a can-do brain. Professor Teresa Amabile at Harvard Business School conducted extensive research on this, studying the daily diaries of hundreds of employees. She found that the single most important factor in boosting motivation and positive emotions at work was making progress in meaningful work. Even small, incremental progress, a small win, had a huge impact on people's engagement and happiness. It's called the progress principle. So, when you choose to take one small action, you are doing more than just completing a task. You are actively engaging your brain's reward system. You are teaching yourself at a neurological level that you are capable of making progress. You are building self-efficacy, which is the belief in your own ability to succeed. This belief is not something you're born with, it's something you build, one small win at a time. Every time you keep a tiny promise to yourself, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. You're building evidence that you're someone who follows through. And that evidence is what will fuel you to take on bigger and bigger challenges. Now, let's connect these small wins to the engine of your life, your habits. So much of what you do every day isn't a conscious choice, it's a habit. Brushing your teeth, checking your phone, the route you take to work, these are all automated routines that your brain runs on autopilot. Author Charles Duhigg, in his book The Power of Habit, breaks this down into a simple neurological loop, the habit loop. It consists of 3 parts, a cue, a routine and a reward. The cue is the trigger that tells your brain to go into automatic mode. The routine is the physical, mental or emotional action you take. The reward is what helps your brain figure out if this particular loop is worth remembering for the future. The beauty of the ripple reaction is that it allows you to consciously design new positive habit loops. Let's say you want to build a habit of exercising in the morning. The cue could be your alarm clock going off. Your current routine might be to hit the snooze button. The reward is a few more minutes of sleep. To change this, you don't need to fight the cue, you need to change the routine. Your new routine could be to simply put your feet on the floor the second the alarm rings. That's it. That's the small action. The reward is that immediate sense of accomplishment, the dopamine hit we talked about, that you've started your day with a win. Over time, as you repeat this new loop cue, alarm, routine, feet on floor, reward, sense of victory, your brain begins to automate it. The connection between the cue and the new routine gets stronger and stronger. What was once a difficult conscious effort becomes second nature. Soon, putting your feet on the floor leads to putting on your workout clothes, which leads to a walk around the block, which eventually leads to a full workout. You are not building a workout habit from scratch. You're building a feet on the floor habit and letting the ripple reaction carry you the rest of the way. You're hijacking your own brain's habit-forming machinery for your own benefit. This is how lasting change happens. It's not about willpower. Willpower is a finite resource. It runs out. You can't rely on it every single day. Habits, on the other hand, are about automation. They conserve your mental energy for more important decisions. By focusing on tiny, repeatable actions, you are building a system of positive habits that will eventually run on their own. You are rewiring your brain, one small loop at a time. The person who works out consistently isn't someone with superhuman willpower. They are someone who has successfully automated the routine of starting. And that is a skill anyone can learn. Let's make this really concrete. Think about someone who wants to get in shape but feels completely overwhelmed by the idea of going to the gym. The thought of a 1-hour workout is so daunting that they do nothing. Now let's apply the ripple reaction. The goal isn't get in shape, the goal is do one push-up today. That's it. Can you do one push-up? Maybe you can't do a full one. Okay, can you do one on your knees? Can you do one against the wall? Find the version of one that is so easy you can't say no. Then you do it. And you celebrate that small win. You did it. That's your pebble in the lake. The next day you do it again. Maybe you do 2. The day after, maybe you hold a plank for 10 seconds. You are not focused on the massive transformation. You're focused only on the tiny, achievable action for today. What happens is fascinating. That one push-up starts a ripple. It proves to you that you can take action for your health. That small feeling of pride might lead you to choose water instead of soda at lunch. It might make you think, hey, since I already did my push-up, maybe I'll take the stairs instead of the elevator. You're not forcing these changes. They are happening as a natural consequence of your first small action. This applies to every area of your life. Let's talk about your finances. The goal of saving $10,000 is terrifying. But what about the goal of saving $1? Can you take $1 and move it into a savings account? Yes, you can. You can automate it. You can set up an app to round up your purchases and save the change. That tiny, seemingly insignificant action starts a ripple. Seeing your savings account grow, even by pennies, gives you that dopamine hit. It makes you more mindful of your spending. You start to identify as a person who saves. That identity shift then influences bigger decisions down the road. Or consider your relationships. You feel disconnected from your partner. The goal of fixing our marriage feels impossible. So, what's the pebble? The pebble is sending one text message today that says, I'm thinking of you and I appreciate you. That's it. A 10-second action. That small gesture of connection can change the entire tone of the day. It might lead to a more pleasant conversation that evening, which might lead to a decision to spend quality time together on the weekend. The ripple starts with one text. One small, intentional act of kindness can change the emotional climate of your entire home. It's not a grand gesture, it's the consistency of small ones that rebuilds connection. If you're still feeling stuck and thinking, okay Mel, I get it, but I don't even know what pebble to throw, I'm going to give you a tool that will change everything. It's called the 5-minute rule. It is the ultimate procrastination buster and the perfect launch pad for your ripple reaction. The rule is simple. Whatever task you're avoiding, whatever new habit you want to start, you only have to do it for 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. Anyone can do anything for 5 minutes. Set a timer on your phone and start. When the 5 minutes are up, you're free to stop. No guilt, no pressure. The magic of the 5-minute rule is that it dismantles the biggest barrier to starting the mental hurdle. We don't avoid the task itself, we avoid the we associate with the task. You don't want to clean the kitchen because you imagine a 2-hour ordeal, but can you clean for 5 minutes? Yes. You don't want to work on that big report because you imagine hours of frustrating work. But can you open the document and work on it for just 5 minutes? Of course. The 5-minute rule is your entry point. It tricks your brain into getting started, which is always the hardest part. What you'll often find is that once you start, you don't want to stop after 5 minutes. An object in motion stays in motion. Once you've overcome that initial inertia, continuing is much easier. You've already opened the document, you've already put on your workout clothes, you've already started washing the dishes. The momentum is there. The timer going off simply gives you a permission slip to stop if you need to. But more often than not, you'll feel a surge of motivation and think, okay, maybe just 5 more minutes. And just like that, you've turned a dreaded task into a session of productive work. Use this rule for everything. Want to read more? Read for 5 minutes. Want to learn a new language? Use a language app for 5 minutes. Want to meditate? Meditate for 5 minutes. The key is to lower the bar for success so low that you can't fail. This builds a consistent pattern of showing up. Consistency is far more important than intensity when you're building new habits. Doing something for 5 minutes every single day is infinitely more powerful than doing it for 2 hours once a month. The 5-minute rule isn't just a trick. It's a strategy for building the muscle of consistency, which is the foundation of all long-term change. Okay, it's time to get practical. Right now, today is Monday, June 23rd, 2025. This is the day you start. I want to give you a list of simple, tangible pebbles you can throw into the lake of your life immediately. These aren't big, scary commitments. They are tiny tweaks that can initiate a powerful ripple reaction. You don't need to do all of them. Just pick one. Pick the one that feels easiest, the one that resonates with you the most. Remember, the goal is not to overhaul your life by dinner time. The goal is to take one action that proves to you that you are in control. For your physical health, here's a pebble. The moment you finish reading this, stand up and drink a full glass of water. That's it. This one action hydrates you, energizes you, and signals to your body that you are caring for it. Another pebble. The next time you get up to go to the bathroom or the kitchen, do 5 squats. It takes 15 seconds. It activates your largest muscle groups and gets your blood flowing. You are not committing to a workout plan, you are just doing 5 squats. This is how you start to integrate movement back into your day in a way that feels effortless and achievable. For your mental well-being, try this. Before you check your phone in the morning, take 1 minute to think of one thing you're grateful for, just one. This simple act of gratitude has been scientifically proven to shift your brain chemistry towards positivity and reduce stress. It frames your entire day differently. Or try the brain dump pebble. If you feel overwhelmed with thoughts, take out a piece of paper and write down everything that's on your mind for 5 minutes. Don't edit, don't judge. Just get it out of your head and onto the page. This act of externalizing your worries can create an incredible sense of clarity and relief. For your future goals, here's the pebble. Pick one big dream you have. Now, what is the smallest possible step related to that dream? If you want to start a business, the pebble is not write a business plan. The pebble is to Google how to start a business in my city for 5 minutes. If you want to write a book, the pebble is to open a new document and write one sentence. 1. These actions break the spell of inaction. They transform a vague, intimidating dream into a concrete, active project. Pick your pebble right now and take that first powerful step. Starting is one thing, but how do you keep that momentum going? How do you make sure the ripples don't just fade away? The key is to acknowledge and celebrate every single win, no matter how small. Our brains are wired to notice what's wrong. We are experts at self-criticism. We can accomplish 9 things on our to-do list, but we'll fixate on the one we didn't do. You have to intentionally fight against this tendency. You must become your own biggest cheerleader. When you do your 1 push-up, I want you to literally say out loud, I did it. When you save that $1, give yourself a mental high five. This act of celebration is not silly. It's a crucial part of reinforcing the habit loop. The celebration is the reward. It solidifies the connection in your brain that this new behavior leads to a positive feeling. Another powerful technique is to track your progress. Get a calendar and put a big X on every day you complete your tiny action. This is called the don't break the chain method. Seeing a visual representation of your consistency becomes incredibly motivating. You won't want to break the chain of X's. It creates its own momentum. You're no longer just doing the action, you're also maintaining your streak. It's also essential to be prepared for setbacks. You will have days when you mess up. You'll forget to do your 5 minutes of reading, or you'll hit the snooze button. This is not a failure. It is part of the process. The old you might have seen this as a reason to give up entirely. See? I knew I couldn't do it. The new you, the you who understands the ripple reaction, knows that one missed day doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what you do next. The rule is simple: never miss twice. You can have a bad day, but you get right back on track the next day. This resilience is the true mark of success. Finally, share your journey. You don't have to shout it from the rooftops, but telling one trusted friend about the small habit you're trying to build can make a huge difference. This creates a gentle layer of accountability. More importantly, it allows someone else to celebrate your wins with you, which amplifies the positive feelings. It also reminds you that you're not alone in this. We are all works in progress. By focusing on celebrating your wins, tracking your progress, forgiving your setbacks, and sharing your journey, you turn that initial pebble into an unstoppable force of positive change, creating ripples that will transform not just your day, but your entire life. So here we are. You started this essay maybe feeling stuck, overwhelmed, and powerless. You looked at the life you want, and it felt like a distant, impossible dream. But I hope you see things differently now. I hope you see that the path to that dream life is not a giant, terrifying leap across a canyon. It's a bridge that you build, one single plank at a time. The power to change your life doesn't arrive on some magical future date. It's here, right now. It's in your next decision. It's in the next 5 seconds, the next 5 minutes. It's in the smallest action you choose to take. Your future self, the happy, healthy, fulfilled version of you that you dream of becoming, is not some stranger you have to hope to meet one day. That person is you. They are waiting for you. They're cheering you on. And every time you choose to take one small positive action, you take one step closer to them. Every time you drink that glass of water, do that one push-up, write that one sentence, save that $1, you are building that future self. You are voting for that life. You are becoming that person, not all at once, but incrementally, with each tiny ripple you create. The feeling of being overwhelmed is a fog. It obscures the truth. The truth is that you have agency. You have choice. You can't control the weather or the economy or what other people do, but you can always control your next small action. That is where your power lies. Stop waiting for motivation to strike. Motivation is not a cause, it's an effect. It's the result of action. You don't feel motivated and then act. You act, and that action creates the motivation to act again. You are one small decision away from starting a chain reaction of positive change in your life. So, I'm going to ask you one last time. What is your pebble? What is the one thing you will do the moment you finish reading this? Will you put on your sneakers? Will you write down one thing you're grateful for? Will you set a timer for 5 minutes and tackle that task you've been avoiding? The choice is yours. Today, June 23rd, 2025, can be just another day, or it can be day one. The day you stopped waiting and started doing. The day you picked up a single pebble and changed the entire lake. Your future is calling. Answer it. Take that one small step. Start now.